Welcome back to News Sources with me, Tim Smart and Julie Masiga. Let's get on the program. Barely 3 hours after Education CS Fred Matiang'i left Nyamachai Secondary School, a dormitory and administration block was set on fire. Nyamachache is the former school. Let me get that straight. Nyamachache is the fourth school to burn in Kisii County in a span of 2 days. The carnage began when students at the Itiero Boys set 7 dormitories on fire in 10 p.m. in Fano. The Heads Association has already said that politicians could have played a part in arson. Where are we going? Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a listen to what Matiang'i said yesterday.
Na Wakenya wengi ambao wanasumbuka, tutumie pesa tujenge kama hii, alafu watoto wachome, inakuaje sasa?
To all head teachers, not to admit transferring students without clearance by the sub-county directors of education. But I don't think I will be inclined to spend the Ministry of Education resources to repair schools that have been banned by students. Because that way, we are irresponsible.
Right, that's where we are. Burning schools is not a new thing in this country, and you know, we've had it years and years and on, and it appears the same story. You know, you get this disillusioned about an issue about a teacher, like on this case it was about a match that the students were not allowed to watch, and you know, raise the entire building. It's the bad behavior in this country that we sort everything through violence. Someone reckons.
No, I don't think so. I think I should blame the schools because if you have the school program from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is class lessons, and preps comes from maybe 7 to 10. There's no problem for the students watching the Euros from 10 p.m. onwards, because even if you look at the school fees structure, parents pay for those TV sets. So you cannot deny the students to watch.
But surely they're not going to school to watch the Euro Cup or the Bold and the Beautiful. They're going to learn. So I don't understand how you can demonstrate against something you're not even supposed to be doing in school, and then you burn down property and waste millions of shillings because of a football match. Doesn't make any sense.
I think people should know the history of that school. Right? It's called Itiero in secondary school in Kisii. That school has produced top football stars in Kenya.
That is beside
including Origi is playing in Liverpool.
They are fallen giants.
They are fallen giants. So we should allow students to do extracurricular activities.
Which playing football perhaps, but watching football?
Yeah.
At 10 p.m. at night and you're in school?
What do you think?
I can't wrap my head around it.
I think the problem starts in our homesteads. The current crop of parents, they've grown in an era where anything goes in their families. Some of those indisciplined cases actually stem from home. You look at the kind of freedom the parents have accorded their kids and all that. That tells you there's something wrong with the way we bring up our children. And I couldn't wait for the day we used to call what, tuition or remedial studies were always conducted in schools during April vacation or even August, because most parents do not want to stay at home with their children. They would rather someone else takes care of those kids. And kids have grown accustomed to that kind of freedom, so that when the teachers say, no, this is the time for studies, they will always go on the rampage.
Well, an expert made a point earlier on in this station, said that the problem of crisis of management in schools, because the head teachers are faced with so much work to do. You know, they are the accounting officers of the schools, they have a staff, to run, they are the secretary of the board of governors and all the things, and these people that you never took to a management training. Okay, then you have students. Okay, so he's a father figure and a motivational, speaker for the students. Now, the fact that we've taken a class teacher who posted very good results in school and made them head teacher does not equally equate to a good manager or someone who understands. Now, this is the time we need to build consensus between us and the students, or we assume that these things come naturally, and they're not. And so that as a gap, I think, is very important, interesting, that we've missed in terms of making sure that the people who head the schools are given additional facilitation to train and understand how they can acquire new skills. Okay, and in this case, possibly you'd have to, get the students after they put up a petition. I assume they want to watch Euro. So you say, okay, fine, we're going to have a meeting. Come through, say, okay, so you want to watch Euro between 10 to 12. Okay, so I'll have you watch it, but what am I going to take away from you so that we agree? So tomorrow you have to wake up at 4. And everyone would accept and move on.
Is there anyone among you who has taught in any school, secondary school?
I'm not a teacher, but
We've been students.
I have a
You
feeling
have
that Tosca,
okay.
you have.
Yeah, I was a teacher in one of the schools in Marakwet district, and there was a similar problem in, I think it was 2002, a World Cup. Nigeria were to play, I think, was it Sweden? Either Sweden or one of those countries. But then we had gone out as teachers. When we went back to school, we found there was a big standoff. Students wanted even to lynch one of the teachers. When we inquired what was the problem, they said, look, we wanted to watch a match, but then the situation was almost going out of control. But then we stepped in, we asked them which match. They said Nigeria. Then we asked them, if we allow you to watch this game, after that, would you go to class and even extend by 1 hour or 2? They said, yeah, it's okay. And then that exactly is what happened.
So you
And
came to a compromise.
Yeah, it's a compromise. So I think also teachers need to learn that there's always a compromise. Otherwise, we'll destroy property.
True enough, but then also violence is never a response to anything. But let's move on. The probe against retired Supreme Court Judge Philip Tunoi was yesterday terminated, with the tribunal arguing that he is no longer a judicial officer. Chairman Sharad Rao said that the probe was no longer necessary, as the judge is now retired. He confirmed that the tribunal would not inquire into the allegations any further. Does this mean that the former judge is vindicated?
He is no longer a judge in whose respect the tribunal could make any binding recommendations to His Excellency for his removal or otherwise. For the avoidance of doubt, the tribunal clarifies that it will not inquire into the allegations any further, and effectively this brings to a stop the matter before it.
Yeah, so after all this, he's not getting his day in court.
Yeah.
At least he's gotten half a day or quarter a day in court. Not that justice has not been seen to be done in this tribunal.
The question is how much we spent in this tribunal since we put up to put together this commission. All right, the support staff, to hire the place, and paying everyone else. We spent so much. I think the question that will committee should ask: what did we get out of it? Okay, we should be in the habit of asking this question because these are public funds that's spent from my tax and your taxes. Now, the secondary question of that is: so is the good judge, had his day in court, or is being vindicated, and was Kiplagat's affidavit, upheld? Now, those are questions that we'll never get to find out, what happens, because if they move to any court or taken to ESC or anything, we've already lost the interest in public mind.
Yeah, I think the loser here is the petitioner, the Lelmet guy called Kiplagat, because he demanded to be given his kickback, and the tribunal is now dissolved. He has not been given the kickback, and also the Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero, he has not cleared his name because the tribunal has not issued the verdict on this matter. But for Tunoi, the guy will get his retirement package as he retires. He's already a retired judge, so he's going home happy.
As a private citizen and a person well respected in this country, I think Justice Tunoi needs now to move to another level. The tribunal has been disbanded, but then he needs to have his name cleared. I would love a situation where now he moves to the common courts to seek some damages from whoever made those allegations. Maybe from that point going forward, we'll get to know the truth. And if indeed the petitioner was also serving the interests of this country, and that he says that Governor Kidero actually bribed, then we need to see him now move to the common courts and then lodge that case so that we have this thing arrested. Otherwise, if it is just buried just because the tribunal has been disbanded, then it's a disservice to this country.
It is actually, because like Smart says, it costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And there's a bit of an irony there, because with the IEBC, we've taken so long to get to any kind of place where a tribunal might be formed. We kind of jumped into the tribunal process, but justice is not being seen to be served on either side. So it begs the question, what kind of laws do we need? Perhaps Africans need a special set of laws. Perhaps the Sabawat Council of Elders
Yeah, the support customer law is very good.
can assist us here, because we seem to have all kinds of structure that would ensure the rule of law flourishes, but at every turn, we kind of make the wrong turn and end up in like strange places. Smart, what do you think?
I think this issue exposes the judiciary we have at the moment, because this is just a drop in the ocean. There are many other allegations facing the judges and the Supreme Court. So I think we should move forward
And form commissions.
we do a radical surgery, not a radical surgery.
We've done that before. We've done it before, and we've seen how it became a witch hunt. Half of the judges came back. So it should be neither here nor there. All right. So let's shift gears. And after that tragic boat accident that killed 9 members of a band who were traveling to Jeddah Island on Lake Victoria, all 9 bodies have now been recovered from the waters. Tradition demanded that the recovered bodies be stored at the lakeside until all were retrieved from the lake. The 9 were finally transported to the Siaya mortuary earlier today. But who's responsible for the safety of the boat commuters? Now joined by our Kisumu correspondent, Rashid Ronald. Rashid, good evening. I know you've been at the lakeside for 2-3 days now. Just talk to me through, because the whole country is wondering, A, we had to deal with the rituals, B, now everyone has been found. But do we have a clear story on what exactly happened to this boat?
Yes, Smart, thank you very much. Kisumu is okay right now. And I just want to say that it was one of those tough experiences as a journalist. You can imagine staking out at the shores of Lake Victoria for 2 days, waiting for the search of those 9 bodies, and actually witnessing people desperate to get the bodies of their loved ones who perished in that ill-fated boat. I saw Smart, a united people working in solidarity in the search for those 2 days, and also spending the nights there. Villagers, fishermen, and officers from the Kenya Maritime Association, and not forgetting our police officers. And actually, one by one, they recovered the bodies yesterday evening. They had recovered about 4 bodies, a lady and 3 gentlemen. Then today, they recovered 5 bodies, 4 belonging to 4 gentlemen and a lady. The last body was recovered at around 1 or 5 p.m. today. I saw the Luo culture at play here. Smart, for example, in the 4 bodies recovered yesterday had actually to remain submerged into the waters at the shores of Lake Victoria. Reason is that if they were to be taken to the mortuary, according to the Luo tradition, then the remaining ones will not have been recovered. Very interesting indeed, Smart. And also, there was no whaling. One was not allowed to whale around there. So there is a big. It was. You were told that if you whale around here, then the rest will not be recovered. Smart. It was also a challenge to recover them, as fishermen within the lake who might have sighted the bodies could not say for the fact that if they did so, one, if it happened to say, then one would be forced to attend the burial and, of course, go through the rituals according to the Luo culture. So it was upon the search team to struggle on their own in the search. And of course, Matt, also interesting, at one point they had to bring a young girl, a 3-year-old girl whose mother perished there. The girl was brought at the shore with the belief that her dead mother would be sighted. And it worked as the body was recovered. A very interesting cultural belief down here at the lakeside, Smart.
Well, Rashid, I just want to get one. I mean, you have a long day, being at the search party. So I just one final question, really. That's all interesting about the rituals and the culture. The question is, what exactly happened to this boat? Do we have any storyline around it?
It's like the band members. There were about 90. There were 17 plus the 2 coxswains. They were actually traveling from Lihunda Beach, which is in Siaya, or they were going to an island called Ndeda for a performance. But the most interesting thing is that people are saying that accident could have been avoided. The tragic could not have happened if these people had put on the safety life-saving jackets. You'll find that most boats operating here in a Juakali manner, most of them are very old actually to ferry people along the lake, and they have no any safety precautions, Matt.
Well, Rashid, Ronald, very long day. Thank you very much. I hope you have some rest, and in fact, you should have some sort of time off. After covering such
tragic
and difficult. Right. Anyone has thoughts about what happened in Kisumu? Do we know what actually happened?
Yeah, it's a sad news. In fact, we should be mourning with the family of those musicians. I haven't seen any politician from that area talking about the musicians. They're only talking about IBC. Yeah? And I think the county government should also move in with speed and equip those people who are ferrying people from those islands to the other islands. Because those boats, if you look at them, they are very, very dangerous, and I think it's a disaster in waiting.
Well, after such a heartbreaking story, some heartwarming news. Finally, a university professor in Ivory Coast came to the aid of a young mother when her baby began to cry during an examination. The lecturer strapped the baby to his back, allowing the child's mother to write her exams in peace. Isn't that just so sweet, guys?
Well, let's look at the pictures coming up on your screen just about now. As a teacher, let's start with the teacher on the platform.
She says that it's so sweet. Yeah, I agree. But if it was in the Kenyan context, like Ababu Namwamba the other day was
why do you have to politicize? Why do you have to politicize a very fantastic...
The last time for taking care of his baby.
We want to celebrate the Ivorian professor. But when Ababu was seen, a photograph with these kids playing, we raised questions. But I think it's really thanks to the professor, because that is what every man, every father.
That's actually a true test of manhood.
Yeah. It's a true test. And that's why last time I said we should have applauded Ababu Namwamba for whatever he was doing.
You're bringing this Ababu thing. I'm just interested in a professor who,
I'm just trying to juxtapose the two.
What's your take?
I think Kenyan politicians should emulate this teacher. They should hold our future in hand and protect it.
He's also bringing Ababu.
That baby is the future of Ivory Coast. I haven't seen any Kenyan politician protecting our future. They're only thinking about their stomachs.
It's true. I agree with Toskin 100%. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show today. Toskin, Bosire, co-host James Smart, thank you very much for joining us. Coming up is KTN Primetime News.